Four sides of the ring. Four sides of the ring. Everybody out here got an opinion. Your ego shall die in the ring. If the debate's getting heated, we heating. You know it's been fire in the ring. We them guys in the ring. Leave with your pride in the sling. Four sides of the ring. Four sides of the ring. Everybody out here got an opinion. Your ego shall die in the ring. If the debate's getting heated, we heating. You know it's been fire in the ring. We them guys in the ring. Leave with your pride in the sling. Four sides of the ring.
How we doing today, everybody? Your favorite faction is back. Shout out to the founder, and I'm here with the man that makes you say, "Ah, fuck, it's him again." Ah, damn, it's Netram. He's a little saucy, little seafood, little strip club shrimp. So who knows what we're about to get from this man, honestly. And the poopy boy himself, the poop sire, the poopster, the rated R pooper star. Tino.
Hey, what's good?
How we doing today, gentlemen?
What's going on? I don't know how I feel about that intro. We're still working on it. I know I'm still new, but
Listen,
we're working on it.
If
The
I
rated R poopy boy, that's pretty good.
But throw me a too sweet. Chano, he didn't do it on time, so you call him whatever you want.
Oh, I can't hear him. I can't hear him.
You still can't hear Netram?
Can't hear Netram.
Oh
What?
My God.
Should I leave and come back?
Yeah, let's try it.
BRB, boys. BRB.
How's we feeling today, Netram? It's been 2 weeks since we seen you. How you holding up?
I am holding up well. My big boss is in the hospital, so I've been covering a lot of overtime. I feel like Chano.
Yeah, man. Listen, work's not work unless you feel like they're touching your butthole a little bit. You know what I mean?
All right, I can hear Netram. Let's go.
Okay, let's try it again. Throw me a too sweet. I was a little faster. Chano still beats you, so he gets going whatever he wants.
Listen, if you gave me permission or not, he's a poopy boy for life. How about you, Tino? How you doing, brother?
Pretty good, man. Enjoyed the stacked week of wrestling upon other major sports. It's been a lot to keep up with, man.
All right.
Finally got a day to talk about it. Let's do it.
So if you haven't seen us in a while, Tyner is the newest member of Four Sides of the Ring. He is the illustrious Sixth Corner. We are officially a TNA size ring.
That's right. Good little
TNA.
throwback action.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Listen, how I like to start off every single show is we're gonna play a nice little game called Where's Zombie King? Oh, this passed already. So on March 14th, La Fiesta, the President Street, Passaic, New Jersey. He still hasn't told me what this is about. I just see a whole bunch of masks and a whole bunch of luchadors. So I'm assuming Ant's gonna be doing some luchador shit. And his name's in the card. It says Junior Flow. All right. Let's go to Devout. TCW The Devout. I swear he showed me a card for this. Well, regardless, CCW The Devout, Saturday, February 21st at the Waretown Volunteer Fire Company in Waretown, New Jersey. Listen, 15
right?
advanced tickets
It's
are
on TV,
$15. It is on TV, live
wow,
on
look at that.
IWTV. That's actually pretty dope.
That is super dope.
I'm gonna reach out to them. I want to see if we can live stream this and do a live reaction. That's super
Ooh.
dope. So shout out to the boy, the Zombie King, if you're in the area. And one more. This is actually tomorrow. ECPW Adrenaline TV taping. If you don't know, ECPW is on television in New Jersey. Don't ask me what channel. I do not know. It is channel 77. There we go. It says it on the bottom.
Check your local
You
list.
have Junior Flow in the title match for the ECPW Light Heavyweight Championship against some bum named Jonathan Bain. I don't care, you're the champion. I don't care how long you've been holding that strap. When the Zombie King gets on your ass, it's gonna be 1, 2, 3, and he's gonna bring your brain on this podcast.
Right.
And we're gonna split it between all 6 of us.
That's right. As always, go support the Zombie King. And as I always say, support your local indie wrestling. Super important. But most importantly, support the Zombie King. And hopefully he picks up those dubs, man.
I don't care if you're in China. You better catch a first class flight to go watch my man's wrestle. All right.
Especially in that championship fight.
Seriously.
Especially that championship fight. And if you don't win, riot. Throw a hot dog at the at the champion. All right, so I do want to jump right into the wrestling shenanigans. Are we doing,
What's
Rick? What's going on, brother?
Rick.
going on, Rick?
So I had a listen. I had this whole thing planned out before this even. Taylor, right? Rocking Let's Gear, Taino. Oof. Don't worry, bro.
We're
Don't worry,
working out the
brother.
kinks. That's right. We're still working out the
he
kinks. I'm
hasn't.
still only a
He
couple
hasn't.
weeks in.
He hasn't added Taino to his spell check yet. All right, so listen, a certain AEW the national champion threw a wrench into my plans this week. So this week, I don't know what triggered this man at all. I generally have zero idea. Never, do you know what triggered this? Before I show it, do you know what started it?
So it was an interview, and he just answered a question, and then the internet doubled down as they do, as we know Twitter does. They doubled down on one little section that he said, and then if you know Ricochet at all, is if you're gonna double down on Twitter, he's gonna double down on Twitter, and it just started
Yeah.
this whole thing. But I don't think he said anything wrong. I
All right,
generally don't.
we're gonna show. Tyler has no idea what we're talking about.
No idea. So this is breaking news to me. So let's hear
He
it. What's
said
it?
they took away my love of pro wrestling away. I'll never forget how I felt walking into work every week, and that platform was to only look good, make others look good at my expense. And I told them I'd rather quit and go back to the indies and make whatever I make there than come back to work next week. And many discovered me at a time where my talents and legacy were being taken advantage by companies that did not really care about me. However, more people have been following me since before WWE and appreciate what they know I can bring or what I can do no matter what. Same thing happened to Baylor, Shinsuke, Apollo, and many others. WWE kills legacies and love of the sport. It's what they do best. I do feel this way, and many others feel as well. That company kills the love and you end up being a shell of who you were and going through the motions. And then he responded, he said, they haven't for a while. Even when I was Intercontinental US champion, they meant nothing. I would argue El Generico has a better wrestling legacy than Sami Zayn.
Oh.
So
wow, holy bomb!
But he did specify why he did feel like his wrestling legacy was being shitted on by WWE. He's extremely grateful for the friends and meeting his wife. He said on the professional side, on the other side, other than wrestling itself, he's grateful for WWE because that's where he met his. I have no idea where this man went. He probably got a phone call. So, Tiny, you still heard Nitram?
I'm here. My apologies.
Nitram, say something.
You can hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. That's the only thing I care about. Before I gotta start communicating between both of y'all. He did say on the personal side, he was grateful for WWE because that's where he's met some of his really good friends and his wife. But on the wrestling aspect, he did say all of that. And I thought about it. Just like many of us, sometimes we get burnt out at work. Because at the end of the day, even if you're in your dream job, a job is still a job. And then you take a look into what Ricochet has done in his WWE career, and it hasn't necessarily really amounted to much. And I'm not saying like, oh my God, he didn't do anything. No, he's a great seller, high flyer, great high flying spots. But ultimately, that's all it really boiled down to. He got squashed a lot. Made others look great. So I can understand being frustrated in your position in a wrestling company when you know you can achieve more. It's one thing to lose matches. It's another thing to get squashed and bodied every single week, like Ricochet was.
Yeah.
But that is the WWE machine if you don't fit their mold or what they look for in a superstar. The only thing I really have anything crazy about this is the simple fact that he brought other people into it. Shinsuke, Finn Balor, Apollo Crews, because those guys are still employed by the company.
I mean, what I will say, I don't mean to cut you off. This is crazy. I feel like I have so much to say, but I don't know how to say it because this is breaking news to me. I did not see those tweets. I don't know if those tweets are still up, but holy shit. Like, honestly, I agree with what you're saying. He should have not brought in other names. However, the names that he did bring in were honestly great examples. And you could go back even before these last couple of years with WWE. WWE has been known to kill careers in a way, right? A bunch of guys come in 2002 from WCW, kill a bunch of careers. Same thing with the ECW guys come in, kill a bunch of careers. Even before then, going back to the 80s and 90s. changing names. Like there was no world outside of that WWE bubble. If like some like that's just how it was. That's just how it seems like it continues to be. But in the same breath, though, that's why me personally, I'm thankful for a company like AEW because you got guys who could kind of jump ship onto a company that's on TV. I mean, they have other companies that are on TV. Look at Zombie King. He's going to be on TV himself. But AEW just has a bit of a bigger audience, maybe not as big as WWE, but they have a bigger audience where talent could showcase themselves. And same thing vice versa, right? I mean, WWE have some failed projects as well. We can name the names off the top of our heads: Storm Restriction, Tony Storm. Those characters, AEW seems like they're building some guys from the ground up, such as MJF is a major name, Darby Allin. Um, so I agree with Ricochet, man. I don't think there's anything wrong in what he said. Um, at all. At all. I think it's very true. And if those guys wanted to showcase themselves somewhere else when their contract is up, hey, maybe they will do that. You know, they have that opportunity.
If I could jump in,
no, go ahead.
Tell
your piece.
The people that he named, these besides Balor, I'm gonna take Balor out for a different reason. But the people that he named are publicly frustrated with the company. Shinsuke Nakamura asked for his release. This is not a secret. He asked for his release. They told him yes, and they said no. We're going to extend your time. Apollo Crews is someone who asked for his release, did not get it. And I mean, you know, like these are two guys that I want to say were big before. Never phrase that. They were big in NXT, and when they went to the main roster, like Ricochet said, the main roster kills talent. It wasn't really NXT. But the main roster kills talent. Now, as far as Balor goes, it's hard to say. Balor's in a predicament where he's still a main event player. He's just never going to be the main event guy. And I think he accepted that. You know, I watch a lot of interviews, and in his interviews, he's very grateful for his job and opportunity and everything like that. But Ricochet's 100% correct. He came into WWE from Prince Puma from Lucha Underground, which was a niche wrestling fan base. I 100% will say that. But for people that follow Lucha Underground, when WWE started bringing in all these Lucha Underground people, we got excited. And Ricochet was really good. He was Prince Puma. He was really good. In NXT, he was outstanding. His clip of jumping over the rope in front of Velveteen Dream broke online records. And then he went to the main roster to do what? Nothing. Nothing of note. Not a single storyline. Yes, he was Intercontinental Champion, but like he said, that was a negotiation, a contract, kind of make to keep him leaving there and all that stuff. But he never did nothing of note. He wasn't allowed to show up and be himself because they're so worried about them. These guys who are not WWE guys outshadowing these WWE talents. And I think that's what it came down to when it comes down to Ricochet.
I will say this about Ricochet. It's hard for me to say that he wasn't a WWE guy because if you look at his, because I looked at his career because I wanted to know who was. I knew about Lucha Underground. I wanted to know about before Lucha Underground. So he had some time, mostly indies, like real indie stuff. He was in PWG for like 8 years. He's been wrestling since like 06. He's had some stints in New Japan. So you can say he is a WWE guy in a sense because there's no other real anchors to him. It just didn't happen to work out that way. Maybe a lack of mic skills, but I think you can attribute to what you said the most, NetRam. He wasn't allowed to be himself. And not even just be himself. You know, in WWE, it's a different type of match style. You're not allowed to have. You're not allowed. There's
a lot of moves that are banned. There's a lot of things you can't do.
It's a different type of match building in general. You know what I mean? What's killing WWE for men's is they are all pushing senior citizens. Last 3 men in the Rumble were all 40s. The girls under 30. WWE said it itself. WWE can't build new stars. We will touch the Roman thing in a bit because that is the overarching theme of this show. But for Ricochet specifically, I understand his frustration. And listen, the WWE hardcore fans, they will make you eat your words. And like Tino said, people go back and forth all the time. Powerhouse Hobbs just went from AEW, debuted at the Royal Rumble. You know what I
See
mean?
what they do with him. He's
Horse
another.
keys.
He's another one in AEW to where, in my opinion, they.
I'm glad we're spending some time talking about my favorite Irish superstar, Ricochet. Nah, but listen, there's things for everybody, right? So the one thing you can say the same thing about Mercedes Moné, formerly known as Sasha Banks. She left because her dispute with the story building at the time, you know. And then she walked off, released, did her thing, got injured, went to AEW, and headlining that women's division. But she's a thoroughbred WWE girl, meaning that her level of popularity probably would still be popular if she was in Indies, but she wouldn't be the headliner that she is without the machine behind her. Like Ricochet did admit, he's like, his name does ring more bells now. People are generally more aware of who he is. But that generally means nothing if you're not satisfied with the type of wrestling that you're doing. And this is one of those episodes that I wish Ant was on so we can get his insight to what it means to have that wrestle the type of matches that you generally want to wrestle. But now I have a question for both of you gentlemen, since you guys watch AEW all the time, and I'm gonna start with NetRam. Is, have you noticed a difference in Ricochet since joining AEW? He's been there for close to a year and a half now. So what have you noticed differently? I've noticed he did more scoop slams, though. I will say that.
Well, that and Ricochet's just more confident. Ricochet goes out there because look, everyone's like, "Oh, he still goes to AEW and he loses, whatever." But he's more confident. He's wrestling the matches that he wants to wrestle. It's not AEW does more of a flashy, I feel like, attempt to wrestling as they, their alternative. But Ricochet gets to be out there and he gets to do his flips, and then he gets to tease us when he doesn't do his flips because he is a heel. And Ricochet, he's just more confident about it. Ricochet's not a good promo, but what makes his promos good right now in AEW is that the fact that he's not a good promo and he's confident that he's not a good promo, and that's what makes it good. You know what I mean? And Ricochet's just doing a lot of stuff now where you can see he's generally enjoying being at work. The phrase is, if you love what you do, you'll never work a day in your life. So when he said, in a sense, oh, they took the love out of wrestling for me, that he went to work. And I don't feel like he's at work with AEW. I feel like he's once again loving what he does.
1000%. Just building on what Naram said, like, I just love, now I could say I actually love Ricochet with a microphone. Even though, like, just to be completely honest with you guys, there's really nothing memorable that I could say that he said. The only thing that sticks out to my mind is that stupid little high pitched laugh that he does after every single thing he says, and he just walks away. Like, I love it. He comes out with like anime inspired gear. Him and the Gates of Agony, I believe. And it's just great to see. I freaking love Ricochet. When he was written off of WWE and it was kind of all out in the air that he was going to AEW, I was just super excited to see him show his full potential. Because AEW has a bunch of guys who can match his style. Not that WWE doesn't. Just as we said, there's just a different type of wrestling style, different type of audience that they cater to. So seeing Ricochet now in AEW is amazing, and him being able to say he's the inaugural champion. And I forget the title that he holds because there's so many titles now.
The
So
national
yeah, my apologies. There's so many titles now in the business, but it's it's just great to say that he could have that championship, and what he's doing now with Jack Perry, I think, is actually really dope. I love that he's just beating the shit out of him every time he sees him backstage. I think I've been seeing that a lot now throughout wrestling, and I love it. Like just coming out to the ring is just boom, just getting beat up. That kind of happened with Darby in AEW. I hope we talk about that later on. But it's great to see Ricochet in AEW. Like I said a little earlier, man, it's great to see the business where it's at. Like Ricochet said, if it wasn't for the machine of WWE, he would have not had maybe a bigger name as he would have. And one could maybe say that with Powerhouse Hobbs, now Royce Keys. Like someone like me, if I'm being completely honest with you guys, I would have not known who Powerhouse Hobbs was if it wasn't for AEW. If he was in another promotion before that, then honestly, I was unaware. But AEW put me onto him, and now I'm excited to see what he does in WWE. So it's one of those things where you know, it's just great for the business as a whole. But he's 1,000% right with everything he said.
While we talk about Powerhouse Hobbs, can I just address the fact that WWE did something real risky with him? Because the only people that would react to Royce Key's Powerhouse Hobbs would have been Americans. Because AEW does not broadcast in Saudi Arabia. So the reason why this man got no pop at the Royal Rumble is because AEW does not broadcast in Saudi Arabia, which means Saudi Arabia was not aware of who Powerhouse Hobbs is and why him and Cody should have beef. Because that was a strictly American program that they did not have access to. And I feel like in that sense, they messed it up there. I do wish him the best. I think
we'll touch on the Hobbs in 2 seconds. Let's just finish up this Ricochet with a little bow.
He said nothing wrong.
Ricochet is a victim of the cookie cutter nature of WWE. And Raw and SmackDown have separate identities. Some of the small guys can thrive in their own division. He didn't have any rivals, just feuds. Not even really feuds. But overall, WWE has an issue with booking smaller talent. Small athletic talent, they kind of have no idea what to do with, which is kind of weird because they kind of run AAA now. And AAA is filled with a whole bunch of flippy small dudes.
WWE struggles with the small guys, and it's kind of like AEW struggles with the big guys, at least from what I see.
Listen, they gotta figure that out. But overall, Tommaso Ciampa is kind of in that same position where he's fresh to AEW.
Love it.
So this is just a situation we're just gonna have to wait and see and keep on watching.
That's your TBS champion. You show him some respect.
Can I touch on Ciampa? One quick thing on Ciampa, or you want to move on? Move on. Let's do it.
Listen, according to Ricochet, titles mean nothing. All right, let's go into the Royal Rumble recap. You know what I mean? All right, so the Royal Rumble was this weekend. Honestly, like Netram just said about a minute ago, holding the Royal Rumble in Saudi America, not Saudi America. Wow.
That's what WWE wants right there.
WWE holding the Royal Rumble in Saudi Arabia is extremely risky. But the simple fact is, like Netram was touching on, it is the season of like returns, comebacks, and everything else. You know what I mean? Rey Mysterio and Brie Bella got the biggest pops of the night.
They did.
Listen. I'm not saying Rey isn't a dog, and I'm not happy to see Rey Mysterio whenever I get to see him. But bro, there's no reason everybody in Saudi Arabia is losing their absolute mind.
It kind of seemed like a lot of the pops were like, just real quick before you go on, it was just for like the older talent or like the main guys. Like it was more of like a nostalgia thing. It kind of seemed.
That's Saudi's thing.
Of course it was. You think they know anything about nitty gritty, no name people? No, it was insane. Just to touch, let's try to get the men's Royal Rumble under 5 minutes, shall we?
Let's do it.
Obafemi made his main roster, essentially his main roster debut, eliminated 5 straight people, including Braun Breaker. The man under the mask, presumably Adam Pearce. They did say under the mask it was Grayson Waller for.
That's what they said. Yeah,
it was Grayson Waller. What thinking is Adam Pearce?
Bro, it better be Adam Pearce. That's a Mania match right there, bro. Adam Pearce is gonna say he's clear to wrestle. Adam Pearce was Braun Breaker.
Adam Pearce can't wrestle.
That's what he wants you to think. So essentially, and then we go on from there. Netram, you want to take did you see the Rumble?
I sure did, and I'll tell you this, and I said it in the chat. The Braun Breaker thing is a big issue for me. It set the tone. It needs to be said. It set the tone for the Rumble, that this Rumble was going to be absolute shit. Because Braun Breaker, what you're telling me is, you guys want me to believe Braun Breaker is the next big thing. And every time you guys do that, you give him some bullshit that he is not the next big thing. Braun Breaker takes out Seth Rollins. What does Braun Breaker do? I'm not going to be part of the Battle Royal for the title. Okay, Paul Heyman says he has a lot to learn. Braun Breaker is going to be this. Braun Breaker doesn't get it. Braun Breaker's number 2 in the Rumble. Braun Breaker loses in 1 minute and 37 seconds. Minute and 37 seconds. To Obafemi, yes. To a guy who jumped him outside, yes. But Braun Breaker is the future WWE. And every time I'm told this, that this guy is the next thing, you make him look like an absolute joke. Why would I get behind a guy that they're scared to pull the trigger behind? It doesn't make sense. Every time they pull the trigger, the gun jams and it shoots me in the face. Every time.
You got that off your chest?
That set the tone. That's how I feel about the first 5 eliminations. Obafemi, thumbs up.
He was really fucking with him. I loved it.
Listen,
I genuinely loved it. But all right, Tanner, let's do. You got 5 through 10. You got actually. I'll give you 5 through 15. Let's
what is 5 through 15? What are we talking about?
the people, the elimination.
You
The
got the Grandes.
eliminations.
You did
Listen,
get the
no.
Grandes. The Grande spot was it was. Oh my
Big pop
god.
for me.
This should have been something that was in America.
Listen,
Yes.
You know what I mean?
I wanted to kind of touch on, I guess we touched the men, so I won't respond to Knit Ram. But in terms of the women's, the men's were a little underwhelming. I will agree with Knit Ram. It was a little underwhelming in terms of the women's side on it. It was a little more better to me. There was a lot of storylines within the match, which I thought was really dope. Seeing Natty instead of Natalia. Can't wait to see how they build that. Kind of what we were touching on earlier. Natty has the ability to be a GCWS wrestler there. She actually proved it. So I'm excited to see where her. I'm kind of excited to see finally the disassemble of the Judgment Day. Kind of live
Disassemble.
doing her thing. Yeah, they're kind of looks
The
like
men.
looks like
This is men. This is and muchachos.
I'm talking about the women's. I'm talking
He
about the
said he didn't
women's.
like the men's and went straight to the women's.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ,
I said it was.
how you mess up my whole entire swag. We was gonna get to the women's.
He hit the men's already.
I only hit the first five.
5.
The first five. What else do
I
you
said we got
want?
the men's for 5 minutes. My man said, "Fuck your game plan. We're gonna do things my way."
Well,
Looks
Back
like
to the
6
men's.
spot.
The Grandes was a cool spot.
finish the
Grandes
men.
was a cool spot. We did not need. I'm gonna go ahead and say this. The Iguana. I have his shirt. Mr. Iguana was not needed. You know why?
It was needed.
Because AAA does not show in damn Saudi Arabia, which is why the man did not get a pop.
I'm not going to Grayson
La
popped. He was
Parka?
like- he
La
was like, why
Parka
does
did not need to be there. Did not
I
get the
agree.
respect he needed. Plus, I thought that was not even La Parka. La Parka's a little chubbier than that. I had this theory that they put someone else in La Parka mask. No one's gonna know, but I know because La Parka is chubbier than that. I don't know who it was, but that wasn't La Parka. Okay? But either way, those two did not need to be in the Rumble. Put people that Saudi Arabia knows.
they're
Straight
all
up.
dead, Matt Ram. They're all dead.
Well,
So
yes,
can-
yes, they asked for Yokozuna that one year. Yes.
The Saudi crowd would have liked everyone chance hates the old timers. The crowd was not going to pop for debuts to AAA talents. Vince knew his audience. AAA tries to control the audience, and Rick says 100% agree with Net Ram on Breaker. Listen, I disagree with you on Iguana. Grayson popped. Grayson was like, "What is that?"
Yes, but Cholo, that's America. He got no pop in Saudi because AAA does not show in Saudi Arabia. They don't know who this green guy is.
I'm not gonna.
It's an entertainment thing, but I do agree.
I was like, it's an iguana. He's like, he wrestles with an iguana. I was like, yeah. He's like, is it real? I was like, do you want it to be?
I'm gonna give a shout out real quick though, because I was saying this all through text messages. Wade Barrett, fabulous job through the whole night. Wade Barrett, when the iguana got thrown out, he was like, and that's a double elimination. I was dying.
You know what? You know, it was the one thing that did. So they wanted to do the Lesnar Oba face off, right? And it was super underwhelming. Oh,
I was just thinking that. I agree. It was
great visually, but for the love of God, it was Mike. How we doing,
Mike?
So, well, for the love of God, it was so underwhelming. They just stared at each other, knocked other people out. Other person came down, beat him up, sent him on his way. And
but
then
in America, that would have cooked.
Oh, bro, it would have been amazing. But hence you got to do.
It would have been Keith Lee, Brock Lesnar all over again. Remember how we all popped for that?
That was great. That was great.
So here we go with that. Then Lesnar gets eliminated during Jey Uso's entrance, which is hilarious. I'm not even gonna hold you.
Are we over the Jey Uso entrance yet, or is it just me?
It didn't work. It doesn't
Jey
work.
Uso's entrance was so long. The next entry came out. I can't stand this shit.
Yeah.
He did it once. Look, we let it slide during the War Games because Brock Lesnar came out.
Yep.
Okay, we let it slide during War Games. During the Royal Rumble was so stupid. I'm glad Roman did the little run it back and then punched him in the jaw because that's how I felt.
Yeah,
that's how I felt about it. It was the coolest Roman Reigns been in 3 years.
Watch first off, watch your mouth. Second off, second year, bro. That's not a Royal Rumble type of entrance. You know what I mean? You could have got 5 people in, and my man's still halfway. But yeah, Lesnar got eliminated fucking by the thing. And one of my biggest beef with the Rumble was, why can't Cody Rhodes lose anything clean?
Oh man, he's the gold. He's the gold. That's Cody, man.
Why can't he lose anything clean? You know what I mean? It's absolutely nuts. It's absolutely nuts to me. It just doesn't make sense. My man's got hit with a claymore during the Rumble. For somebody who's a champion, my man's really taking all the fucking possibilities to make sure this man never gets another title shot. And it's like, listen, I love that type of hatred, but let Cody lose clean. Yo, Jacob Fatu eliminating him from the Royal Rumble would have been chef's kiss. He did not need Drew. He did not need Drew's help with that, and that sucks because I think that WrestleMania match is going to be Drew, Jacob, and Cody, and they need Jacob. You know why they need Jacob?
To take the pin.
Not only to take the pin, but to add a little more flavor to the salt baked potato they've been feeding us the past couple months with these two. You know what I mean? They've been
that makes the most sense. But I'm gonna be real with you guys. I don't think I want a triple threat match. Like, I don't know
what you want, a one-on-one match.
To be completely honest, yes, but I understand that would mean taking Cody out of the picture.
Why do we need that? But we've had the past couple months.
What was that?
I said, who's gonna get pinned if it's one-on-one? You gotta have somebody to pin. And Triple H versus the Nai family is a real rivalry.
I'm over Cody Drew. 3 Stages Hell was meant to end up, bro. It was. We had WrestlePalooza. We had whatever random SmackDown match they had. You know what I mean? Or the Saturday main event, whatever the hell it was. And there's 3 Stages of Hell. This is not needed. This was a perfect opportunity to get Cody Rhodes in another storyline to do something else completely.
Maybe they just kind of the well is maybe dry when it comes down to Cody Rhodes. What else is there to do?
It's not dry. They booked themselves into a goddamn corner, which they always do. So let's wrap up the men's side. The final 4 was Logan Paul, Roman Reigns, Randy Orton, and Gunther. Gunther was number 30.
Yes.
After retiring AJ Styles, and Roman Reigns wins the Royal Rumble, which is fine. Listen, out of those 4 people, Gunther. No.
Yes.
I'll tell you in a second. I'll tell you after we get off the Rumble shenanigans. So with those 4, Roman was the most likely to make sense. Now the women's side, like always, the women's side of the match is always the better side of the match. The women just have better matches than the men in these big style matches. Doesn't matter if it's War Games, Elimination Chamber, doesn't matter. The women do it better. Brie Bella's back for whatever that means. It's probably gonna be a multi-tag. It's probably gonna be a multi-tag women's match. Tano, as you was talking about the women's, now you can talk about your women's match.
I appreciate it. I kind of jumped the gun a little earlier.
You shot us both dead.
Well, my apologies. But what I was touching on the women's match, what was it? Kind of lost my train of thought. But what I was saying was just the inner storylines that were in the match itself. Just Liv Morgan, obviously, as we know now, winning the match in its entirety. The last spot in itself, the way I can't remember the last 3 women who were like on the outside apron just going crazy. You didn't know who was going to win the match. And for it to be Liv, I just love it. I love what they're doing with Raquel. I think she's a total badass. Last Legend. It just showcased a lot of the younger woman. Like, although Liv won, Lash had an amazing showcase. And so did who's another one who was Jordan Grace in the Rumble as well?
She was.
Jordan Grace was another one as well who I just completely loved. Another complete badass. I just think it just built a lot of women up this Rumble, and it was just really dope. I kind of lost my train of thought from earlier. I had it going.
I'm glad that happened, because stop jumping the gun, senor. Before you get to your point there, Ram, the well for Cody Rhodes stories isn't dry. We still have a potential for Randy Orton, but that doesn't need a belt. As well as some former AEW talent with built-in hatred for the Golden Boy. My fault. Let me just.
I think Cody needs to have an all elite faction.
So we think we're making Royce a heel. Royce
Stop
Keys
jumping the
to go
gun, my
against.
He couldn't pick up
boy.
Big Show. He
I'm
ain't
going
Knit,
for
doing
the
that.
comment. I'm asking in the comment.
Knit Ram. Let's go on your take for the women's place in here.
All right, my take on the women's. The women's was cooked almost perfect. Almost perfect. I do have flaws with it though. Um, one, some of the flaws have to do with it, the location, which is Saudi Arabia. Because you know who doesn't watch Stardom? Saudi Arabia. The Julia, Io Sky, Asuka interaction did not get a single pop. Why? Because no one in Saudi Arabia is watching Stardom. No one cared that was literally the lineage of how Stardom was passed down. No one gives a damn in Saudi Arabia, so they're not gonna pop. That's how I feel about that. The rookies got to shine. Lola Vice looked great. Lash Legend, incredible. Who else got to shine? Believe it or not, the Alpha Girl. God, what's her name? I said she looked like Jordan Grace when she came
Oh,
out.
Ivy now.
Ivy
That's fine
Nile
now.
looked fine for her spots. You know what didn't make sense to me was they had Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss start the match, which I was totally fine with. They did the little fun thing where they were like, I could eliminate you, I could
Yeah.
eliminate you. And did a little heart thing. I almost cried. Beautiful, right? Number 3 comes out. It's Kiana James, or whatever her name is. She
Super
comes out.
fun.
They whoop her ass.
Yo,
And
Kiana James was
they
getting
do
smoked
not
all
throw
Royal
her out.
Rumble.
They do not throw her out. And instead, they whoop number 4's ass. They don't throw that girl out. They whoop number 5's ass and don't throw that girl out. What are you doing? That was bad booking. Then Kiana James had nothing to do with Julia. Why were you there that long? No offense, but why were you there that long?
She was there just getting all the spots, bro. She was just
I'm not
taking
gonna hold you.
all
So
the hits.
it's a great look for her though. Gives us some
No,
more burn on
she
TV.
was
It's
every
fine.
time I seen she was just getting hit. Just getting hit. She was there for the spot.
It was fine. You know what? I generally remember her name because she pissed me off how long she was in there. Good for her. Roxanne was an afterthought. Becky Lynch was an afterthought. Which was fine. Like you do that. Like just let other people shine. I think the woman had more shines than the men did. Besides Oba and Javon, I don't think really anyone that didn't win didn't really shine. But the woman had a lot of people shine in this one Rumble, which was fine. I thought they did great. Brie Bella got the biggest pop. I'm not gonna sit here and say I didn't pop. I was on my couch. I said, "Oh shit, it's Brie Bella." Terrible music. Brie mode.
Hey, I
Awful.
missed that music.
I
That's great.
popped.
I
I
missed it.
popped for it.
Same.
Okay, I popped for it. I like the Bellas. I think they deserve one title run. People were like, they're not. They say they're WWE's real first tag team. No, they're not. Yes, they are.
Yep.
I don't care what none of y'all say. Yes, they are. They're WWE's real first tag team. I love Blake Cool as much as anyone else does. They were not a tag team. It's just is what it is. Okay. The woman, they got the right winner. My
There's
biggest
the right
flaw with
winner.
it was I hate the fact that the women's rumbles, and this is every woman rumble in history, never has a final 2. It's always 3, and then they quickly rush to a 2 elimination quick spot. They never get the final 2 that I think makes the rumble so special. Because every time I get a men's rumble, you get this final 2 where it's like, oh, it could be either one of these guys, and they have this little, maybe 5-minute, 6-minute match off, and then someone wins. The women never get it. They never get it. It's always
Well,
3,
you
and
need
then
a little bit
quickly
of
2 eliminated.
contrast. You need a little bit of a contrast, but I do understand your thing. I would say though about the ending of the thing. So Ruka is a wild boy trying to hit
She
a
looked
soul
great. She looked
She's
great out
amazing.
there.
bro, trying to hit a soul snatcher off the apron to outside. You would have eliminated yourself anyway. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She would have been gone anyway. But
But-
oh, I like Mark's comment right now. The beauty of the Women's Royal Rumble was a theme that they ran through the whole match of women's tag teams. From alliances to units squaring off, it felt
Yep.
unique. I hated Raquel in it. It's like you're in a title match Monday. Yes. I thought about the same thing you did, Rick. But then I realized they needed a way to build the WrestleMania match for Liv, along with the tension of the Judgment Day. Because you remember, tension was supposed to be there before SummerSlam, but Liv showed the injury, put a little damper to it. But yeah, the women's match, once again, better than the men. We can breeze through Drew, Sami Zayn, right? We don't need to really talk about that.
Yeah, they got that right. I don't care what no one says. They got that right.
Yeah. You know, any objections? Yes, no?
No, Sammy's time is
Yeah.
at Saudi Mania.
That makes sense. Next year?
Yeah,
Look at you.
next year, Sammy's time.
Using that noodle. And the real reason anybody tuned into the Royal Rumble at 2:00 in the afternoon. AJ Styles versus Gunther. Career match for AJ. Bittersweet. I wish Cena would have took a nap, but you know, it's fine. AJ Styles went out like a real one. My man's literally woke up from his nap, still trying to wrestle, and the ref is my favorite part about the whole entire thing. The ref looks so sad.
He was,
He's
yeah.
like, AJ.
Well, Sean, I know you didn't watch TNA, but I don't know if they mentioned it on commentary. But that was a TNA referee. He's somebody that called earlier AJ style matches, so it was like supposed to be like a personal thing.
Oh, that's so beautiful. Oh, that's so beautiful.
You know what's insane? I was wondering, right? While he was getting chopped in the corner, he's like, AJ, are you sure you want to go? He's like,
yeah,
yes,
he was a former TNA referee for AJ Styles. So
you know what?
That's actually super dope.
You know what I hate? I hate the sleep spot, and the reason why I hate it is
I love the sleep spot.
For Cena, they did the arm spot. 1, 2.
Ring that bell.
The third one was like, the third one was like, oh my God, it's making out. For AJ Styles, my man did once. He was like, I'm not doing that to my boy. Ding, ding, ding.
Well, you know what I think it was too? I believe with Cena, he was more in the middle of the ring, and AJ was like in arm's length of the rope. So I guess when he noticed he couldn't just stretch right there, he's like, all right, he can't do it.
No, you can't. Listen, you can't do 3 arm drops from one and 1 for the other.
I do agree, though. I do agree. I'm just trying to play devil. I do agree.
No, fuck that. Keep it uniform. You know what I mean?
Can I hit on it, though?
Go ahead.
Great. I've been holding this in. What the fuck was that? No, let's break it down, okay? AJ Styles is one of the greatest wrestlers in the last 20 years. He's been in WWE for 10 years. He is literally what wrestlers model themselves after nowadays. These Javon Evans, these younger guys, they model themselves after AJ Styles, okay? Now, I understand AJ Styles has only been in WWE 10 years, but name someone who has a better 10 years than AJ Styles. AJ Styles is one of the best to ever do it, and he was the second match, which everyone knows is a bathroom break. I don't give a fuck what no one says. He was in a bathroom break card match, okay? He had an anticlimactic finish, which the match was great. All shout-outs to Gunther. Gunther's fabulous. He's fabulous. I don't care what no one says. The man can work, okay? AJ Styles leaves, and he's done in this second on the card match in the Royal Rumble, not close to the main event, not the opener. Would it have killed to made him the opener? Would it have killed to make AJ Styles the opening match? Then what we get is this bullshit excuse. Because the way I see it is, if you're not a WWE guy, WWE does not care about you.
That's
the way I see it. AJ
yeah.
Styles is not a WWE guy. He is a guy who's been in WWE. And that's how they look at him, which is why he didn't get no Cena treatment. He's not going to get Randy treatment. He's not going to get, I pray, the Miz treatment. You know, he's not going to get this glorious treatment because at the end of the day, AJ Styles, he's just the guy we got from TNA after Japan didn't want him. And I think it's bullshit. If you're somebody who's not made in WWE, then they just don't care about you at the end of the day. That's what I told me.
I will say, I got 2 thoughts on what you said. Let's get to comments real quick. I've had no issue with Quad being in the Rumble since we had people in the Rumble matches who were holding Money in the Bank. Can someone really have too many title matches stocked up? Honestly, that's a great way to think about it. But think about Jey Uso last year. And then wrestling going to get back. AJ losing isn't really the issue with the thing. So, Tina, before I get to your thoughts, I just want to rebuke when the Net Rams thing is.
Yeah. I think would have been one thing.
I think one of the harder things to do if AJ really had his heart set out on retiring at the Royal Rumble, right? It's kind of hard to hold 2 retirement runs adjacent, you know what I mean, at the same time. John Cena and AJ Styles, because in my honest opinion, if you try to hold both at the same time, one of them is going to feel slighted. You know what I mean? So I think ultimately it's just bad timing. If
So
that makes
I
if that makes sense to you, Nitram, and Tino, get your note out because we're gonna go to a commercial break after your thing.
so real quick, I guess my only pushback to Knit Ram would just be like I think we're kind of just got a little too spoiled with how Cena's year-long retirement tour kind of ran, and I feel like
Oh,
maybe we have the impression that that's how every retirement tour should be. And honestly, that just doesn't happen in the WWE. I think I spoke to Channel about it last week or whenever it was. Undertaker didn't have a proper send off either, and he's one of the greatest wrestlers ever. I think his last match was that cinematic match with AJ in Mania. So he
which
never
we
really
were
had
told,
a
which to be fair, we were told was his last match, which was during COVID, and was a fabulous match.
With
And
it
you know where
AJ
was
else? You know where
it,
else it
it
aired? To argue your comment, you know where else it aired? The main event. It was the last match
no,
showed night one at Mania. It was
yes.
great.
But however, there were no fans. So one could say no fans or fans on the second card of a match on
They
the big
put him
PLE
on
as well.
match number 2. That is a
So
bathroom break match.
no, I totally agree with you. But again, my only pushback is I just think we got a little too spoiled with Cena's retirement tour. I think that, like you kind of alluded to, I think the only other person that you'll get that kind of tour is maybe Randy Orton,
Randy
maybe The
Orton.
Miz, definitely Randy
CM
Orton.
Punk might be one of them.
But I just think that we got a little too, because I know we got to go to break soon. I just think we got a little too with Cena's. I don't think that's gonna be a thing. I really don't. I enjoyed the match. I think it's real up in the air with. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm going to commercial break. I'm counting you down.
Oh, here we go.
My man is long-winded.
What's up, my fellow bad guys? Just when you thought we were down bad, Brandy's here to pick us right back up. Thanks to our partnership with SeatGeek, we got good seats and great prices. New users can score a fantastic $20 off their final ticket purchase by using the exclusive promo code 4SIDESOTR at checkout for any event. That's 4SIDESOTR. Tell them the bad guy sent you. Dive into a world where every pinfall, every suplex, and every promo is celebrated in fashion. From the legendary 3-count trivia to the iconic bad guy wrestling, we've got the latest gear to elevate your wrestling wardrobe. Show off your passion for the squared circle. It's not just clothing, it's a lifestyle. Come shop with us and unleash your inner champion at foursidesofthering.com. That's foursidesofthering.com.
AJ Styles deserved better.
I understand. Listen, you're a lifelong AJ Styles fan, so I do understand your sentiment completely. Seeing one of your favorite wrestlers go out that quickly in a shuffle is this little disheartening. But can I tell you something? The last 4 matches of his retirement tour was better than John Cena's entire retirement tour. Cena's retirement tour, we got a lot of fluff and a lot of promos for appearance dates. You know what I mean?
AJ can actually wrestle, but that's not a shot at Cena. But
No. Listen, Cena was never a great wrestler to begin with, and
It was more of an
he's not worth
emotional
what it is.
investment with Cena.
It
I
was,
think that's really
bro,
what it
bro,
was.
1,000%. And people acting like we're never going to see Cena again.
But-
you can see him on your next Amazon Prime movie. You know what I mean?
So,
AJ Styles has.
I think the reason why it bothers me, and I don't mean to cut you off.
No,
The
no,
real
you're
reason
fine,
why
you're
it bothers me is because it's like I said, AJ Styles been there for 10 years. He did 10 years, literally. And he had a great 10 years. You know, I mean, he's given WWE some of their best matches, according to Dave Meltzer. I think my big issue is that, and this kind of goes back to what Ricochet was saying in a sense, but like, if this is how they treated AJ Styles' retirement, a legend like Nakamura isn't going to get a proper one. You know what I'm
Of
saying?
course
A
not.
legend like these guys who are signing these contracts now, somebody like Penta, who can work another 10 years, isn't going to get a proper one. Someone like these guys who are not WWE right off the ground are not going to get proper retirements. And to me, that kind of hurts. Because
To be
these are
honest,
the guys why I'm tuning in.
to dispute your point, Kurt Angle didn't get a proper retirement. He got Baron
Kurt
Corbin.
Angle's retirement is the worst retirement of all time,
So
and that's my
I
favorite
don't.
wrestler, and I cried.
Yeah,
So
but,
I
but
don't,
no,
I
I'm just
don't,
saying there's a whole bunch of WWE guys that didn't get a proper. Triple H didn't get a
and
proper retirement.
To be fair, can I argue though about Kurt Angle? I think they were
Sure.
petty about him having a better run in TNA than they ever did. Kurt Angle will always go down as a TNA guy before he goes down as a WWE guy, in my opinion.
I
depends
think
how
you can
you.
give him
I
mixed
feel
bag
like
both
I feel like it depends on like who you're talking to, like
because
on that fan.
WWE
He can
made
go
Kurt. Listen, WWE made Kurt, but Kurt made TNA. If that
right.
makes sense, you know what I mean? Because Kurt, the peak Angle,
So
it's still crazy
so
because he was still on purpose. But you know what I mean? Like Angle was still wildin'.
so what I wanted just to say real quick before we move on is just maybe maybe AJ's not done. I don't think we've touched on it yet, but he did he was going to put the gloves down in the middle of the ring. He
So
didn't. He put
he
them
spoke
back
about that.
on.
He spoke
You know,
that in the interview with Stephanie.
What did he say in that interview? I didn't watch it yet.
yeah, I heard it came out today.
I don't watch all of it, but that specific clips, they actually was like, "Oh, what about the gloves?" And it's mad funny to prelude to that. Triple H was like, "No, he's done." AJ's the kind of guy that keeps his word. But then
I
AJ was
heard
basically
that. I didn't like what Triple H. I didn't like those comments from Triple H that he
he
lost the love
just
for it. Yeah, no.
he's a schmuck.
Yeah, like
But
you don't like that's something like let's say I'm
you
sorry,
don't
like
talk
I
on
go
that.
to you, you don't speak on someone's behalf for that. You know, you let that person
Yeah.
come out and say it. But go ahead, you could go ahead. I'm sorry.
Nah, so basically when he was like, you never know what it holds. He was like, I never want to say I'm done with wrestling for good because what if my son wrestles and I can't have a tag team match with my son? And I thought that was a dope, honorable answer, especially if he's trying to keep the mystique of what he's doing next. You know what I mean? But that is,
AEW.
I hope so. Kurt Angle
Yeah.
did not have the ability or the health to really have a true retirement run. And I heard Punk had a private chat with Styles. I mean, I'm sure everybody had a private chat with Styles. You know what I mean? But yes, Kurt Angle did not have the ability or the health to have a true retirement run. But honestly, even if he did, Triple H didn't really get one. Shawn Michaels kind of faded into black.
Triple H was a health issue though. Triple H would still be going right now if he could.
Yeah.
He had a heart attack.
Yeah,
He had heart
I
issues.
know. I understand that. But what I'm saying is not a lot of guys happen to get a retirement run.
I agree because Christopher Daniels, like he told Chris Van Vliet, he said a lot of wrestlers, every wrestler is going to have their final match, but only a select few get to call when that is.
Yeah,
And I
bro,
thought
and
that was a
that's
real cool quote from Christopher Daniels. But
it's incredible, and that's right on, bro, and that's right on the head, bro. Not everybody knows when you can. You thought Big E thought his last match was gonna be with Rich Holland?
Yeah, man.
No, bro, that's not how you plan your career for yourself. But that's all to say is not everybody can plan out a retirement run. I don't think it's specifically a WWE thing. You know what I mean? When Randy was out for the 2 years with that back surgery, I'm pretty sure he thought his last match was his last match.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So not everybody's blessed to have that run, to have that kind of stat. But to get back on, I can see Triple H putting his career in pacemaker on the line of Saudi Mania. I don't think so. My man's Kip. Listen, maybe, but who knows? I do want to touch base about Roman on Pat McAfee before the Rumble. He said he was gone. He was out of the picture for 2 years. He said they can't create new guys. I took a step back. Who stepped up? Think about it. Bronson Reed has a pin over Roman Reigns, and they did absolutely nothing with it.
Yeah, he's kind of like an afterthought in that faction right now.
Generic
Bronson
goon.
Reed is one of the two guys who have a clean solo pin over Roman Reigns, actually.
It wasn't clean, but he did beat Roman Reigns.
Oh.
But I'll tell you what, though, Bronson Reed is probably the only person in the last 5 years or 6-7 years to have a win over Okada and Roman Reigns.
Yeah, I did see that.
That is incredible. That is incredible company. So Bronson Reed didn't really have much of he's generic goon number 8, right? I did say once they added Logan Paul and Austin Theory, a lot of people wouldn't get lost in the shuffle. Braun Breaker's lost in his own goddamn shuffle.
I don't think so.
WWE, since Roman we was having this conversation in the group chat, NetRam. You called the Bloodline filet mignon and the rest of it's Kraft mac and cheese. I want to discuss the last 2 years since WrestleMania 40 the storylines that have gone on. Are there any notable storylines that have gone on since outside of the bloodline? Because the bloodline shenanigans still happen after 40 with Solo and all of them. Can you guys tell me some notable storylines, some great storylines in wrestling in the last 2 years? Doesn't matter promotion. You can go to AEW.
Oh, then yes, I can.
Go ahead, name them.
Swerve Strickland and Hangman Page.
That was
Beautiful.
that was on my list as well. I was thinking AEW-esque as well. I was also thinking Tony Storm and
Mariah May.
Mariah May.
Beautiful.
That was
Fabulous.
another beautiful character
Beautiful.
change throughout
If-
Tony.
if
Throughout
we're
the
talking-
was great.
If we're talking just WWE,
No, you could talk all wrestling.
well, I was
get
saying because
WWE.
the only WWE storyline that really sticks out on my head would be the Trick Williams stuff that he's been doing in NXT. NXT to me is the only relevant, since the bloodline ended, relevant storylines that have gone on.
The answer I was looking for WWE was Dominic Mysterio being the dog that he is, and pick and live over Rhea at SummerSlam.
So it's funny. It
That was
sucks
during
because
them, but
it's only so
No, that was
many.
last
I
year.
feel like it's so many really big storylines within the last 2 years in WWE that you could really touch on. And I was actually going to say Judgment Day. Dom obviously being a part of the Judgment Day, especially
What part
these.
of it? What part of it though? Because Judgment Day since 40 has been in a whole bunch of things that don't really mean anything outside of them kicking Rhea and Damian Priest out.
Mhm. Yeah,
R-Truth's Judgment Day was A+ storyline.
That was before 40.
Was it? No.
Nah, yes, they won the titles at that Mania. He's right.
Wow! Holy shit! Time flies.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
But either ways, I in my opinion, I was gonna say Judgment Day either ways, because although they've been in a lot of kind of wash away storylines, I feel like it kind of built at least a few other characters that they were going up against, at least for that time, at least for those couple of weeks, especially back when Finn and JD had the titles, even though they weren't really defending them, but they
didn't
at least
do anything. But no, I'm not to cut you,
Truthfully-
but they didn't do anything. They had a beautiful moment with the New Day turning heel, and it completely went nowhere.
Wow, yeah, they did.
It was a start. It was a start
Yeah.
of something. Oh my god!
Yeah.
It was like, oh my god, this is beautiful. You was at Chili's. You seen your plate, your faja, your fajita plate sizzling coming over to you, and then before he puts it on the table, he fucking drops it on the floor. You know what I mean? They've had glimpses of greatness, but they have.
Was the Punk Drew? That was afterward.
Yeah, that was after, because that was after.
That was great.
That was good. I enjoyed it. I didn't feel like the payoff of that match was great, but it was a good feud. But I also thought it was a little silly because it was over a bracelet. I just thought it was more about two guys that hated each other more than an actual storyline.
I prayed for this.
A lot of posts from that feud. That was a good feud.
I think also the problem is that they keep betting on people who keep getting hurt. Seth Rollins, they have this big storyline planned out. You know, that promo with Roman and Punk recently was great. I thought Roman really carried it. It felt real for the sense.
Yeah, but that's a Roman promo.
I sat there and said that should have been Seth.
For who? For Roman
for the lines of I hate you. I've always hated you. I've always felt like, yes, this is the Seth Mania match that we've been building up to, which have been postponed all these years because Seth can't stay healthy. Well, I think Punk actually
no. Tano,
it's so funny you say that.
Tano, do not get started on this on the Roman CM Punk thing. You're not going to derail this beautiful segment I have in my head all week. Hold it down, my good sir. I seen his little hairs bubbling, bro.
But that Roman promo was great. It's edited on Netflix. I don't know if you guys saw that. They took out the Zebros line.
But yes, it was great. But at the same time, it's a Roman feud. Now we're back to square one. When wrestling in WWE was absolutely at its greatest, Roman was at the top of the hierarchy. Roman Reigns did some vision stuff that led nowhere to the vision, and they have no other plans elsewhere. What makes AEW storyline so great, I feel like AEW has one great storyline a year. The Mariah Tony Storm stuff, when Daniel Bryan won the AEW World Championship off of Swerve at All In, even when they did MJF Adam Cole at All In, beautiful, great storylines. Hangman Swerve, leading into the blackout cage match, the unsanctioned cage match, beautiful, great storylines.
Fletcher and Ospreay was real good.
The match was better than the storyline, but yes, that was extremely good.
Love Fletcher.
You know what I mean? The story. So you also had something great with the Kingdom, the double storyline before it went to complete shit because Adam Cole.
Oh man, that had such great potential. Talk about potential, man. That had so much.
But you know what I mean?
Potential.
All the great storylines in the past 2 years, all the great storylines in the past 2 years have been AEW storylines. WWE has fallen flat to the point where Cody Rhodes is in another title, presumably in another title match for WrestleMania, and nobody necessarily cares. But Cody has to be in the situation because how they booked Cody into a corner. Cody has not lost to anybody clean. Cody is upper echelon cream of the crop, can't do no wrong. Even Roman took a step back and he was in a nonsense triple threat match with CM Punk and Seth Rollins for giggles. You know what I mean? It's because they didn't know what else to do with any of them. Well, mostly because they put Jay in the Gunther spot of Mania. You know what I mean? So you booked yourself into a corner. We can look at the other WrestleMania matches that are presumably going to pop up. You have the El Grande's Mask versus Mask match. You know what I mean? We still don't know what's going to happen with the women's side because I swore Bianca would have came back at the Rumble. And then you have no clear picture what's happening for the United States for the mid-card championships on either brand. For the women's as well, there's no guidance. There's no vision. There's no sense of creative thing anywhere. And the best thing that we have going on in WWE creative-wise,
tag match.
Oh, and that, you know why? Because the women know how to put together their storylines and work together coherently to make something pop off. The Bellas with Alexa and Charlotte, with Rio, and whoever the other tag team is going to work really well.
I think it's Judgment Day.
The Judgment Day girlies?
I don't think if Raquel doesn't get the title match, then I think it's going to be Judgment Day.
I don't know. I hope not. But at the same time, it's rough. It's extremely rough. The booking has been the Dom things. What Dom's been doing has been cool. You know what I mean? The big Dom guy. But outside of Dom and AJ Styles, he hasn't necessarily been in any crazy feuds. The creative in the storyline has been kind of lazy.
Yeah.
Booking Like a Mark made a good point. We were talking in the group chat with me, him, Mike, and whatnot, and Rick, and it was like, feel bad for Finn. Finn's in a nonsense storyline for the world title because it's clearly not going to be Finn Balor versus Roman Reigns at the main event of WrestleMania Night 2. You know what I mean? It's pointless. It's a pointless feud. Creative has not been great. And what's been holding wrestling together these past couple of years is just star power of individual stars. The Cody Rhodes, the Rhea Ripley's, the Io Skys, the Liv Morgans, the Dom Mysterios. We have more people tuning in for these individual people rather than overarching storylines. And that is not the Bloodline's fault. The Bloodline was great for generational TV. Miriam, it is not the Bloodline's fault.
It is.
It's not. You can't blame a storyline being good for why the other ones are so bad. It doesn't make sense.
Hold on, because I said this in the chat. The Bloodline is the greatest storyline that I've ever lived through. I say that with 100% heartfelt confidence. It's the greatest storyline I've ever lived through. It was 4 years of beauty. I mean, it has 2 years before it really kicked off, but it's 4 years in total. But the Bloodline did something that damaged WWE, and that was that it only focused on 4 people. It built no stars, and the star that it built was supposedly Jey Uso, who failed as a star. As a main event star.
That's not even true. But that's not even true. He didn't feel as a main event star. He won the world title. He did.
They put the rocket on him, like Unreal said, and then everyone on Unreal said, "This guy kind of sucks."
Listen,
and they took the belt off him.
And listen, and it is what it is. But Roman did his job, and he made Jey Uso a superstar to
Who
win the
else?
world title.
He
Roman's
made.
talking
I
about they
mean,
made no new stars. Roman did
Solo,
not make any new stars. Roman did
Solo,
not
he
benefit
Solo,
a single
low
person.
Solo. Look at
solo.
Solo.
Yeah, I was
Look at
gonna say
Solo was
Solo.
solo.
down lower mid card.
And Solo's up in mid card, and Solo's still holding things down. He's still holding down SmackDown. It's not his fault. They got him with the spooky bang bang gang that they don't even know what they're doing with properly. They keep
Yo,
adding
that's
people to
funny.
his
I like the
faction.
face paint. I like the face paint.
That's not Solo's fault. Solo is a stud. Sami Zayn was a conspiracy theorist before Roman Reigns found him. Because of Roman Reigns, the WWE Tag Team Championships was a main event of WrestleMania. Bro,
The bloodline hurt WWE.
Bro, he recreated Sami Zayn.
Who was a bloodline member?
Yes, he was a bloodline
Name
member.
one. Name one bloodline member who benefited in the 4 years. That's not Cody Rhodes because it was designed for him. In the 4 years that have benefited off a bloodline storyline. Not Kevin Owens. Nope, that
Kevin
looked
Owens
like shit.
benefited.
No, he did not.
Bro, Kevin Owens was arguing with old boy about if he was his brother or not, Ezekiel and Elias. Bro, I swear to God. Bro, he was like, it's Ezekiel.
He was catching aneurysms. He was.
Bro, he was catching aneurysms. Bro, I was watching Raw to see if Kevin Owens would have an aneurysm on TV, bro. I swear to God.
The bloodline didn't benefit a single person outside the bloodline.
Bro, what do you mean? It basically kept ascending Drew. But yes, everybody from the bloodline who was in the bloodline benefited except Jimmy. That's
unfortunately.
Whoa, he's having a baby.
That's bloodline related. That's a
storyline
between.
That's literal bloodline.
That's a storyline between him and his wife in their own private quarters. You know what I mean? You know, nobody's over there. There's not a producer in that situation. They handle it.
We don't know
themselves.
that. We don't know what Unreal Season 3 looks like.
I mean, look, here's all I will say, just really quick, I guess, on this is, it's tough to say, and you know, if the bloodline built any individual star or not. I think we could kind of maybe agree to disagree, maybe bring up points, but I think we all could agree here that the bloodline story definitely brought a lot of people back into wrestling, and I will be the first to say, me being one of them. I watched a shit ton of wrestling during COVID, then fell off once the world got back, and once the bloodline story started kicking off, I was invested, and now I'm fucking knee deep into it. And at least what I could say, what Roman did was Roman put wrestling back on his back. I mean, in my opinion, kind of like Cody coming back, all these guys coming back, in my opinion, was because of Roman. And maybe you could argue Seth as well at the time when he was world champ, because when Cody came back, I believe that was his first major feud was against Seth. But the bloodline just, and again, just the way I look at it, it just put like a rocket ship on pro wrestling, and it just fucking just made it more mainstream than it's ever been before, and that's because of the bloodline.
Bro, of course it did. The bloodline impacted wrestling as a whole. You know what I mean? It was beautiful, but ultimately, everybody else's creative has nothing to do with the bloodline.
One thing.
I disagree because the bloodline took.
Bro, it's not the bloodline's fault that creative couldn't have two thought processes to do anything else. The biggest thing that Cody Rhodes accomplished in his first championship reign was beating Roman Reigns. And that was it. The rest of that year-long reign that he had is a blur.
Well, what I will say is this really quickly, and I'm not going to go off the rails here. What I will say really quickly is the bloodline's impact was so big. At least we started off by saying these last 2 years. So these last couple of years,
yes, the last 2 years since Roman lost the belt at 40.
Since he lost the belt, so the last 2 years since the bloodline kind of dwindled down. It's not really the big thing anymore. At least from me being a weekly viewer, Saturdays and Wednesdays, AEW has definitely stepped up since the bloodline stuff kind of slowed down. I think that's why now when we kicked it off, when you asked, hey, last 2 years of wrestling, at least for me, I can't speak for Nitram. My brain first went to AEW these last 2 years, because last 2 years for AEW has been fucking amazing.
And it
AEW has
has
been
been.
taking advantage of the poor booking, dare I say, of WWE these last couple years. So the bloodline or Roman stuff may not be helping WWE per se, but it's making the world across wrestling better, because now it's kind of like blood in the water, or as Rick types.
No, that's
Jay
fine. It's
should
a
have never
stretch
been
for
champion.
Roman as big champ. It made them create a World Heavyweight Championship, create Damian Priest, Gunther, and Punk as world champion. Nobody said, but the Bloodline story benefited from COVID-19. The story started through the Thunderdome era where the people starved for entertainment. We now view it as with rose-tinted glasses.
Exactly my point. Like I said, the first 2 years were kind of but we all were invested into it already. The last two
Yes,
years of the Bloodline is where it really kicked off,
yes, and
and
it
that's
was
fine.
yes, and it was great.
It
Yes,
took
it
it took
was
a long time to
beautiful.
get there. I'm not taking away from that storyline. The fact that they're like, oh, Jey Uso would have never been world champion, 100%. You know why? Jey Uso should have never been world champion. Jey Uso was
Yes,
never ready to be world champion.
no, he
And
wasn't.
it
But he,
showed.
I
It
agree.
but he
showed. They
was
threw the
still.
strap on him, and it showed. He could
But
not
he
carry
still.
matches. He looked drunk all the time, and all he has is a 20-minute. He has a 20-minute entrance for a 7-minute match with a commercial break in between it. I don't want
Listen,
to hear anything about Jey Uso being this great, fabulous dude, because he's not. All right,
he
he's
doesn't
just
need. He
not.
doesn't need to. He doesn't need to be a great fabulous dude. You said Jey Uso was a tag team guy, and Jey Uso won 2 singles titles and won the Royal Rumble
He
in that
held
time
one for a
period.
day. It was like a week and a half.
Well, that wasn't his fault. Solo got involved. Listen, bloodline shit, bro. Bloodline shit.
Look,
Respectfully, but bro,
and as
but like,
far as
bro,
Damian Priest being world heavyweight champion for Puerto Ricans, that was a big win everywhere. I agree.
Yo, real
You
quick
know,
though, I hope Priest gets another title run. When and where,
he
never
don't
again.
know,
He'll
probably
but I
never
won't.
get
hope
it again.
so. I
He'll
know,
never
I
get it
know,
again.
I know, I
He's
know,
old.
man.
He's old
I
now.
hope
He'll
so
never get it
though.
again.
I hope
My thing
so.
about it was, okay, yes, we did the Pedro Morales thing, which I feel like they erased all of Pedro Morales' legacy. Let that be, because Roman surpassed him as most longest champion, and then Damian Priest beat him as the first Puerto Rican champion in 50 years. Pedro Morales is now in the history books. He was great as it is. Damian Priest got his thing. It was not that great. It was okay. It was okay title run. It wasn't
It
great.
was okay. Yeah, it
I'm
was
big on it.
okay.
It wasn't great. Um, but that title that they made, because Roman unified the titles, and then they said, "Oh snap, guys, we only have one title. Let's make 2 titles." But doesn't Roman have 2 titles? No, no, no. We'll just say that that's a secondary title. And now Roman wants that secondary title, not the title that is his title that has
Yeah,
two
He can't.
titles tied to it. It is
yeah.
stupid.
It's
We all
not.
know that was a
It's
secondary title, and Seth
it's
Rollins is a
It's
secondary champion.
yes, but here's the
to
beauty.
build a
Here's the
legacy.
beauty of it all. Here's the beauty of it all. Right. Basically, all it's to say the last 2 years when since WrestleMania 40, when Roman was on top, wrestling creative has not been the same. It has been janky
Yes.
as hell.
Yeah.
However, now Roman's going for the World Heavyweight Championship. And I don't even think he's going for the World Heavyweight Championship because CM Punk because of the World Heavyweight Championship. He's going for the World Heavyweight Championship based on who the World Heavyweight Champion is. It would have been so much easier for him to pick Drew. However, you book yourself into a corner with Cody Rhodes. With Drew McIntyre continuously fucking with Cody Rhodes for no goddamn reason. You now understand where we at in this point in time.
Can I say my
That's
fault though with Roman's promo though, or just real quick?
no, yeah, go ahead. We can go touch on that now.
Roman, in that promo, which, like I said, he did a great job. He really made it believable. I genuinely want to see their match. The "I hate you" line, everything was perfect. The "fuck the zebra" shit, all of it, perfect. But he kind of diminished a title
Shitted
that
on.
he held. He diminished Drew
Agreed.
McIntyre, and he diminished
Shitted on.
SmackDown
Yeah. I
because
didn't
he
like
Shitted
they
on.
clearly
they
said,
undressed him. Yep.
he said, I could choose you because you're the biggest star in wrestling, which is true. Okay, so fuck Drew McIntyre. I could choose
Not his
you
fault.
because you're on Netflix, which is the biggest show.
They take the
Okay,
most money.
fuck USA, fuck SmackDown.
Facts.
I could choose you because this title means so much. Okay, it doesn't, but I'm choosing you because I hate you. He diminished Every single thing that had to do
Straight
with
up.
anything.
So I
Bobby
want to say
Strode
this. I
violated.
want to say this real quick. I totally agree. Like at first, when I first heard watched Raw and that whole thing happened, I was like, holy fuck, they are undressing Drew McIntyre. Like it was like maybe a minute straight of them just like a dick measuring contest. Like I beat him 3 years in a row, and like I beat him up so bad he had stitches. It's like
Mhm.
Jesus. But at the same time, it's so funny going into the episode. I was thinking about tomorrow, Friday, and I'm like, man, I want to see Drew just go off. I want to see Drew kick off SmackDown with a microphone already in the ring and just say his piece. I hope this builds Drew just in a big way so we could see what he has to say. We know Drew has no filter. He says how he feels. And at the end of the day, I was kind of thinking about it. Again, I didn't like how they undressed him, but at the same time, you could get away with it, I feel, since he's a heel. So it's fine. It'll kind of build his aura a little bit more going into tomorrow, going into Mania. Another thing I wanted to mention with Roman and Punk is I really don't want to see no physicality. Like I don't want to see them touch until Mania. I don't know if you guys agree with that. Maybe another in-ring, face to face, but to be real honest, I don't even want to see that. I want to leave it at that. Like as we know with wrestling, especially us being the type of fans we are, it's kind of, at least for me, hard to see what to shoot and what's part of it. And when Roman spoke about the podcast from 10 years ago, he's hitting one, an older fan base, and two, super niche. Like how many people knew that reference? You know what I mean? So it makes me super excited for this match. I remember me channel a couple days ago, he was telling me he wasn't really feeling that matchup. I don't know if his feelings changed, but that promo, I'm excited for it, man. I'm super excited for Punk and Roman, and maybe if Roman ends up winning this title, it's to kind of build that title's legacy. Because like Nick Ram said, there's no history to that title at all. That's basically a brand new title.
So
So that's kind of my
for
thoughts
the
on it.
for the WWE Undisputed Championship actually has 3 championships lineages aside to it. And he has the original World Heavyweight Championships lineage that was the WWE Championships and the Universal Championships, all lineages, all tied through that strap. So it is a brand new belt. Cody, Punk, and Roman, I really don't care for. It's one of those matches where you can see they're both older gentlemen. So there's not them pushing over a younger guy at this moment. But it's very clear a Roman moment. And they're gonna use Roman to further push the next generation of stars. Right? You're gonna see Roman Braun Breaker, Roman Gunther. Not Gunther's not really next generation star. He's 40, but
Oba?
Oba, you might get an Oba match. So
That'll
you
be good.
have I don't really care for it because excuse me, nothing nobody really gains anything from it. It's just the biggest match possible. They already dunked on Cody versus Roman part 3.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Fucking dunked on it. There's nothing there. I mean, there is. You still want the rubber match, but there's absolutely nothing there anymore. I don't care for it. I generally don't. I'm still gonna watch it because I want to watch my tribal chief win the strap. But other than that, I really don't have a desire to really watch it. But I do understand why it was made. It is the match that's gonna help you sell out the rest of your tickets for night 2.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited for it, and I think again, just my opinion. I know there's 2 nights of Mania now, but just how I look at it, Sunday night it is the main event. So I'm excited to see the match. As I said, I don't want to see them get physical until Mania. It's only a couple of months away. It's crazy to say that. Like we're officially on the road to WrestleMania. Things are about to be getting spicy now with these shows. And as I said a couple minutes ago, I'm super excited to see what happens with Drew McIntyre. I'm hoping he touches on what was said. I hope he just doesn't kind of leave that unsaid. Um, I'm honestly excited for it. It was just such a, to me, one of Roman's best promos in the last few years. Even though, okay, he's part time or whatever, I get it. But since he's, touched the microphone, being in the ring, I think this is one of the best promos.
Is
Like
it?
again,
Is it though?
I'm
Is
a
it? Is it
the
though?
To me, yeah, because the way I think of it, again, besides me trying to like remember what he said and paraphrase, I go with like feelings. And the way I felt Monday night listening and watching that segment is like, okay, there's like maybe some low-key real beef here. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Bro,
Like Roman was bringing up some, he spoke for 2 minutes,
I
two
think
minutes, shut
it's
it
the
down.
same, bro. It's the same shit Seth said, plus extra filler.
Yes.
well,
So
I
this is what
I
I was
do think
gonna
that
say.
promo was for Seth, but
So this is what I was gonna say earlier to Nitram actually. So I faintly remember that Seth promo.
And listen, not to cut you off, Tino. Tino,
No,
finish your
yeah, I
point
was
because I
like,
do want
no, I'm
to
sorry.
get into that.
Yeah, okay. So just so on the Seth thing is I remember it just being kind of goofy. Like it didn't feel the same with Seth. Like Seth did try to do the same thing. It's along
He
the same
did. He
lines,
didn't try
but
to. He did it.
it didn't feel the same. He had the goofy laugh. Like you said, Roman was a little more serious, more unfiltered. Roman hit
Drew
it
said the same thing.
way better to me.
the only
I just
the
like
only
Roman's,
difference
bro.
between Seth and Roman's promos was that Seth referenced AEW, where Roman referenced Cole Cabana's podcast. Besides that, I think it was identical.
Bro, Seth
And
mentioned the
to
podcast too. He was like, he was
that's
broken
what
down
made
there a
it.
little.
And
He's
to
like,
me,
it's
that's what made it more
podcast.
real. They like he like there's no expirations for receipts in wrestling, and Roman is bringing that up, and that's
Yes,
what I
but
love. Again, to
yes,
hit
but
Yes.
such a
Seth brought it up.
niche line, I love it.
Seth brought it up. Seth brought up the
Can I ask you
podcast.
guys? Can I ask you guys? Do you know what Roman was talking about with the Cole Cabana podcast? The line that
Yes,
CM Punk says about Roman.
No, he
yes.
wanted they was telling him to win
Make
the
Roman look
match, but put
strong.
Roman over, like to
Yeah,
make
Make
him look
Roman
good.
look
I
strong
actually
was the
heard it. Yeah.
objective. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. He's
bro.
like, fuck, I
Listen,
know. Jesus, all these guys coming up.
So
He
it,
went
so
it
about
wasn't
it
even.
the
It
wrong
wasn't even
way.
a dig. It wasn't even a dig towards Roman. It was just a dig towards like, yo, I know how to do my job.
right.
But listen, it's the
Could have
same
been more
shit, bro.
professional.
Bro, CM Punk said the same thing that everybody says about Roman. Oh, you're not here long enough. Ha ha. You only won because of your cousins. Ha ha.
And he
Oh,
said,
what are
had
you
that
gonna
speech
do?
with his
Spin over
wife.
the Yeah, you know what I mean, bro. Like Jesus fucking Christ. So this was supposed to be the main segue into the main thing last 2 years. But how do you build a new star? And I believe how you build a new star is exactly what they did with Obafemi. My man's went into the Rumble, dominated the first 5 people, Braun Breaker included. He would have got bitched out anyway because Oba's that guy. You know what I mean? Obafemi's just that dude. And then you build from there. Obafemi could potentially be your new Brock Lesnar without all the technical MMA fighting skills, because let's face it,
Brock is
Lesnar
just
and Tim
different, bro.
built
Brock's built
different.
different.
Yeah, Brock is just
But
different.
My man's just built different.
Yeah.
But when you look at Obafemi, what he did at the Royal Rumble, it screams star.
Great
My man's
showcase.
my man squashed Rusev. And I'm
Yeah,
not saying
man.
that I'm not saying like, oh, that's a crazy thing. No, but Rusev's a tank. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
that's an
My
AEW
man
guy.
just I'm a WWE guy. He was in
That's
WWE,
another
then went
one.
to
Who what's he
AEW.
doing since he been back?
He
Anyways.
beefed with Big Boy Dom, and Big Boy Dom beat that ass.
Uh,
He
He
was
he
beefing with Dom.
he tied that ass like a Saturday night. Saturday night date night. You know
I'll
what I
say
mean?
this: I thought they had Javon looking like a star during the Rumble,
Yes, Javon, bro.
and
Javon
then
looks great.
he needs interference to help him win a 4-minute match against Grande Americano. So
Listen,
how
he's
do we
still
build new
21.
stars? Be consistent.
Listen,
Mhm.
Obafemi, he squashed the War Raiders. Unfortunately, because I love Ivar.
I didn't
Yes,
like
Ivar's really
that.
nice.
I didn't like that at
that was
Ivar's
a
all.
my
bad move.
guy.
I tweeted that. That was a bad move.
Yeah, I didn't like
This
that.
was
They're on their way
what
out.
that read to me was when Braun
Are they?
Strowman won the tag team
Oh
battle
God,
royal, and I was like, "Oh, Braun Strowman just destroyed your entire tag team division
with a little
by
kid.
himself."
He had a tag partner.
Yeah, he had Nicholas, who's 8 years
Yeah,
old, and they had to vacate the title next day.
dog. He's a dog, bro. What are you talking about? How
Who,
many
Nicholas?
how many 8-year-olds you know winning straps, bro? Sound like a hater.
But like, I saw that, and I was just sitting there, and I said, "Oh, so the War Raiders, who are former tag team champions,
Gone.
cannot be taken seriously after this."
I
Yeah.
mean,
Because one
yeah,
man just took out
or
both of them.
And
or
One man.
as you just mentioned, go ahead, Channel. Sorry.
or Obafemi is just that guy. You ever thought about that? You thought about Obafemi
Mm,
just might be two.
But
This is
it,
my one inbound for the day. You ever thought he might be 2 niggas in one?
But why not get people in the mid card who wrestle solo, who lose all the time? Why grab a staple in your tag division, which is already weak?
Staple.
Let's be honest, it's
No,
a weak
but
tag division that
they
they
never on
have.
TV.
I agree. Just building on what Nitram said a couple minutes ago. Like he said, just be consistent. Like when I always forget the other guy's name in War Raiders, but when he was out with injury, Ivar was having
Dog.
beautiful singles matches.
Bro,
Look,
I was
yo,
a dog.
great matches. So again, to have Oba come in again, we love Oba. He's a younger guy, built like a star. But to have him just squash the War Raiders at that, not the Viking Raiders, the War Raiders, it's kind of like, come on, man. You know, like he said, man, be consistent. Ivar was showing what he could do in the singles. Now he's with his tag guy. Don't have them get, have some jobbers there, some enhancement
Unless you're
talent.
going to do the storyline where next he squashes, I don't know, the New Day, and next week he squashes the Motor City Machine Guns, and the
That
next
would be
week he
funny. That would
squashes.
be good.
If he can run through the whole tag division, they pull a TNA where they say, "Yo, this one man can be both tag team champions." I'm okay with that, but that's not what they're going to do. They're going to have
Yeah.
him squash these people who are credible to an extent. Are credible, and now they're no longer credible because one man completely made them look like absolute dog shit.
And
And
I
I
didn't
love that
like
for Oba,
yep,
but what does that do for everyone else?
I will say
exactly.
this. Oh, the Viking Raiders probably gone, and also Ivar is a dog. I will always say that Ivar is probably my favorite big guy wrestler because that man is. Listen, I probably
Yeah, he's dope.
listen when I glaze Ivar on Twitter, he responds.
Okay, but
Bro,
now,
you know what I mean? Ivar's a dog, bro.
but now when the War Raiders beat Otis and Tozawa, I'm gonna sit there and be like, well, they couldn't beat Oba Femi by himself.
I mean, have you seen Tozawa?
You're,
Even
you're
though
taking away.
Tozawa,
I think that segment would have worked better with Tozawa and Otis because they have less credibility. You're taking former tag team champions.
it doesn't. I don't. You're taking it too seriously because I see like when I seen that match, I was like, okay, the War Raiders might not be in WWE in like 2 months. That might have been their last match on the contract. Tozawa and Otis, they're next. Don't worry, they're coming. You know what I mean? Then you know who else he's gonna squash? He's gonna squash Petey and Pablo with the Grande Americano people, whatever the hell their names are.
Yes, but they have no credibility.
You guys are describing how to build the star in WWE style. After saying WWE's fan and song, we've seen guys dominate the roster, but that isn't enough to make people care. Honestly, bro, Mark has a point. What do you guys want? They're building Obafemi at the expense of the War Raiders. Tragic, because Ivar's running my.
You know what I want?
Dog.
I want them to be unpredictable
and
have Oba just win the Rumble.
But you
have
know what's
Oba
crazy?
challenge Drew McIntyre. No one sees this coming.
No.
Have Oba win at Mania. You build new stars.
Too soon.
First off,
that's what we said in NXT, and he carried it on his back with Trick Williams. Throw the strap on Trick Williams.
You're on drugs. I think the Aqua was
way too soon. I think Oba is gonna be a future star for sure. I think
we're saying it's too soon.
Tozawa are the number. They are.
Yes, and they haven't had a match. They haven't had a match since 2014. Or not 2024. 2024, December 2024. They didn't have a single tag team match all throughout 2025. This is not I'm not making this up. This is a fact. This came from Wrestle Talk. Their last tag team match was in 2024. And all of a sudden they're the number one contenders. Fucking joke. It's a fucking joke.
Oh my god. You need to drink some water, buddy. You're on 10. I need you're at a 12. I need you at least at an 8. My man's just passionate about tag team wrestling.
I love tag team wrestling.
I'm inclined to agree with Nitram, man. It's definitely I guess the theme of tonight's show has definitely been underwhelming for sure. It's definitely been underwhelming, and I hope that channel. I hope you're just saying that, man. I freaking like the War Raiders. I hope they're not out, but I'm excited to see what Oba does. I'm excited to see what he does.
But I want to address the fact you guys keep saying it's too soon. Too soon. You guys, the reason why it's too soon, okay, is because then we're going to wait until these guys are 40 years old, and then we're still going to be complaining about how we're 40-year-old champions. It's never too soon to throw a title on somebody. Let them carry the weight on their shoulders. We have a new generation. Okay?
So you want to? So you basically
Trick, Javon, Oba, Ethan Page. These are guys who can step up and easily be world champions. Easily.
Yes, but
and it's not too soon. It's the perfect time. Braun Breaker. They should have pulled the trigger on him first Raw of the year, whatever it was called.
Yes,
they should have pulled the trigger, but no, they can't do it.
But here we have the issue with WWE, right? It's easy to say, oh yeah, put the strap on Braun Breaker, put the strap on Obafemi. What you do is that does a couple things, right? With Braun Breaker going over CM Punk, that's something that definitely should have been on the table for things that could have happened. That was a winnable match. But on the flip side, you literally had Cody Rhodes, who hasn't had a clean loss at all. He still hasn't had a clean loss. His only clean loss is in a 6-man tag team match against Solo Sikoa. Only clean pen he's had in the WWE main roster since he's been back. You're in a position with your wrestlers, you don't have them lose cleanly. I don't think Punk has lost cleanly. You know what I mean? Punk has lost to some shenanigans.
I mean, in a sense, if you're in a no DQ match, it's a clean loss. Just throwing it out there.
So yes, granted, but at the same time,
so when Roman beat him, that's a clean loss.
So you're not having these guys. You're not. Hold up, I got a little comments. Ethan Page is 36. He's getting to my threshold.
Exactly. There's no say it's too soon for him.
When you win and dominate, how can you book them and then have them eventually lose? When they don't have that vulnerability, all you have less is a character. Booking requires story. Yes. So
I think Mark's on my side.
Mark's on both sides. He's about like it's possible to make somebody look strong, but you eventually have to book them to lose. And they haven't done that with, and the only champion right now who's losing consistently is Drew McIntyre. God bless his soul. My man lost his way to a championship. You know what I mean? They finally paid up. They finally paid him for reverence and thanks. And that came from both Cody and Drew. Like, yo, please just put the strap on me, big dog. Like, I can do it. And they finally did it. If it wasn't for Cody going to bat for Drew McIntyre being world champion, Cody was to be the world champion going into Mania. You understand that, bro? It's crazy. It's beautiful to think of a world that Obafemi can win the world championship in 6 months. Shit, on this pace, he might.
Yeah.
He might just squash Dom for the Intercontinental Championship, drop that title, and go after the world title. It's very possible with Obafemi's trajectory. But at the same time, WWE is extremely cautious when it comes to the world championships. Remember, Vince doesn't put the rocket on nobody that quick anyway. It would be amazing if they put those strap on Obafemi that quick to show, yeah, he's that guy. You know what I mean? But they don't do it. And then it's odd that the women and men's booking is night and day, and the women are doing it better. But also, yeah, Stephanie got the rocket strapped on her also due to a series of unfortunate events of injuries and pregnancies on the women's main event picture.
Yeah. I will say, I think they would give, and it has nothing to do with Trick being on the main roster a little longer than Oba, but I could see booking giving Trick a world title run or the title itself before Oba, because the way I think of WWE is, besides what you could do in ring and promo, obviously what makes you a professional wrestler, I think they also focus on what you do outside the ring in terms of media and just kind of showing up. So I think Trick is a better personality with that, being a champion than Oba. Oba is a force. He's a big dude. He looks great. But to me, he's more of a gimmick, right? He's just more of a gimmick. And Trick, to me, is just Trick just being himself. So that's just I think Trick would get a world title shot before Oba. But both are the future. I'm excited to see what they do. All these young guys that we're talking about eventually are going to get a title, whether if it's a mid card or the main one. But
Braun Breaker is going to be world champion before. Braun Breaker will be world champion before all of those guys.
Oh, 1,000%. I was just talking in the sense of Trick and Oba. But no, Braun 1,000% deserves it. 1,000%.
Goldberg won a dominating WCW and made him a star. But what happened when he lost? The aura was gone and Goldberg wasn't the same. He didn't have the character to fall back on. Yes, because they didn't focus on Gunther. They didn't focus on Goldberg the character. They focused on Goldberg the streak. And once the streak was gone, there was nothing left to build off of it. And honestly,
look how great it was for Kevin Nash.
You know what I mean? Yeah, but Kevin Nash eventually had something back to lean back on. Goldberg, all he ever was an undefeated streak, a jackhammer, and a spear. That's all Goldberg was. You know what I mean? That's all he was.
He was
That's
a
all he
hell of a
was.
football player in the longest yard, too.
Shit, dog. You know what I mean? But at the same time, these guys didn't have character work to fall back on. WWE these days, you have character work, which ironically AEW has some of the best character work in all of wrestling at the moment.
Yeah.
But let's not talk about that. But WWE, these guys have characters, and people, they don't rely on who the title is. Maybe except for Cody. We're still trying to discover who is Cody Rhodes without the World Championship. You know what I mean? Gunther. The question was, who is Gunther without the World Championship? Apparently, he's a career killer. But luckily for him, there's so many people over the age of 45 in that main roster that he's gonna be busy for a little while. When he's not collecting golden straps, he's gonna be out here retiring people. That's one hell of a fallback plan. I'm not even gonna hold you. You lose your championship, and you just look at the 40-something-year-olds in the back like, "You're next."
How old are you? Oh, you just turned 40. All right, cool. Let's go to the ring.
Hey man, you got R-Truth. I think he's gonna retire R-Truth.
And they just re-signed him. I mean, listen, who knows? Who knows? Who knows if anything? But yes, it is possible to make somebody a world champion, but you don't need to make them a world champion to make them a star. Look at Dom. Dom's not a world champion for AAA, yeah, but Dom's a young star.
He's a world champion, but
yeah, he is. But like even before AAA, he was a star. You know what I mean? He's not a superstar, which is the difference, but Dom is a star. The only difference is Dom's not in the main event picture.
Yeah, he's like an upper mid card.
Dom is the epitome of what a mid card person is. He's finally winning matches by himself. They're doing baby steps with Dom. Dom went from needing all the help in the world to win a match to now being able to win a match on his own. Some tomfoolery, but he's winning the matches on his own now. Eventually,
they're also making him an international star before they put it.
Bro, it's nuts. My man's is doing promos for Fox, for AAA on Fox TV, bro. It's nuts.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, bro, Dom is that guy. But they are making Dom is a star. Braun isn't there yet, but he will be, hopefully, eventually. Oberfemi, he has all the makings to go do so. Javon Evans, super marketable, super himself, all the potential to.
Love Javon as
Trick Williams, as long as Trick Williams can continue talking about his lemon pepper steppers, he'll be a star.
As long as he's wearing the jacket.
Yeah, the jacket is that. Bro, it's one of those things. Oba is 27, Trick is 31, Javon is 21. It's funny how Taker books AAA, Sean books NXT, and Triple H struggles with WWE. Listen, nobody's perfect.
Taker booked AAA? I thought that was Conan.
He's in AAA helping with the booking. I don't think he's doing the booking hands-on, but he does have his hand on a little bit.
That's pretty cool.
And listen, these people who do creative, they are human. It's okay to be human. You know what I mean? And make mistakes. But eventually they're gonna realize that they have to build something else. On the other side of the Goldberg tantrum, Undertaker has so much character he really needs to hold the championship. Someone like John Cena was in the middle of mixing winning and character work. Yeah. You know what I mean? But then when Cena didn't have the belt, it was a little funny seeing him without the strap. Seeing him without that main
but that's a
title picture.
Yeah,
but eventually these people will retire. Bro, you know what I mean? Roman is like 1-2 manias left. Cody said he's on his last contract.
Roman's one big movie away from being Hollywood.
Oh, 1,000%. You know what I mean? There's so many people. All these guys are on the way out. LA Knight, 45. You know what I mean? Soon he's done. So eventually they're gonna have to turn. They're gonna have to turn over to the young guys. And will they be ready by then? Who knows? But that's the beauty of finding it all out. So to finish off our show, we have a new NXT World Champion. His name is Joe Hendry.
Did you believe?
I saw the match. I actually enjoyed all of it.
It was a good match. It was a good spot, man. Fucking what's his name? That Shiloh spot using the freaking ladder as stilts. That was great.
Shout out to Jackson Drake. Looks great out there.
Yeah, you're such a groupie for people from North Carolina. It's not even funny.
I know him.
You went to his birthday party at Chuck E. Cheese?
I've known him since he was 14 years old. I have a picture with him when he was 14 years old, which sounds creepier than out of context. But I see him at I see him at
Help!
every WrestleCade, and he knows me by name.
Please!
That is a fact. He actually knows my name is Martin, and we take a picture every WrestleCade. Okay,
That's dope.
Please!
him and
Help!
Javon, I've watched since they were 14, and I'm glad they're both getting their shine.
Police! Help! Police!
Sean knows I've been talking about it.
Police! Police!
Okay.
Freaking Shadow's horrible.
You should never be that excited about talking about 14-year-old boys, never.
Okay. You know what?
They're around the same age, goddamn.
You know what?
No, but
I
listen.
knew he was gonna be a star at 14 years old. I said that kid has it. He has it.
There we go.
Listen.
I wish I would have been his manager. I would have been doing good right now.
This is because worse and worse. Nah, listen, it's dope. He actually does know you by first name. He goes, oh shit, that's Martin.
Yeah, he actually knows my name is Martin. He doesn't know my last name. We're not on that kind of basis, but he knows my name is Martin.
Listen, if you used to tell me you and him are Facebook friends, I'd be like, you know what? That sounds special.
I have his Snapchat.
Oh shit.
Groupie.
That is pretty cool.
I have his Snapchat. We're Snapchat friends. And yes, we are Facebook friends also. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and throw it out there. I'm Facebook friends with Jackson Drake. Okay. I'm Snapchat friends with Jackson Drake and Javon. So get at me.
At 14 years old? Police!
No, I asked for this a little later in life. They're Greensboro natives. That's pretty much my next town over. I watched them in my local indies. Support your local indies. They're from 5-Star Pro Wrestling. There's a lot of people actually involved from 5-Star Pro Wrestling. I'm so happy for that promotion.
Nah, that's just me joking with NetRam a little bit. He has talked about both those guys for a really long time from his from the indie shows. So if there's anything nefarious going on, I wouldn't know about it. But NetRam's a good guy. Any final notes any side thoughts for the rest of the week, guys?
Ava is being replaced. Who do you guys think should be the new GM? Robert Stone is just interim. They made that very clear.
They did. I feel like it should be Robert Stone. I mean, it's kind of there for him. I know it was Ava, then it was the other girl who was there. She kind of left. It was kind of fit for him to be the GM, so might as well give him the job. Unless you make him wrestle, does he still wrestle?
Nah, he doesn't.
He doesn't wrestle no more, so might as well make him the GM. Who else are you gonna bring in? Maybe or maybe what you
Shayna.
You know what you could do? You know what you could do as well? Maybe every week you have like a segment where like this might sound like a bad idea, like maybe like Teddy Long is like coming out of an office, or like Vicky Guerrero and like Robert Stone is just kind of they're like, yo, what the fuck? Like I'm here. Like why are you interviewing these old guys?
It's just people being interviewed.
Like people doing interviews,
like
you know, like just kind of. But I think ultimately it should be Stone. I love how they kind of addressed it without addressing it. So yeah, it should be Stone in my opinion.
Paige.
Ooh.
Paige is a good shout. I think it should be an NXT, someone who has a staple in NXT. And I hate to say it, but I think it also should be a woman.
Imagine tomorrow you see Andrade got released by AEW and he's the NXT GM.
Oh God, bro, no more of this Andrade. That'll be like, bro, Andrade,
I support wherever Andrade's moves are.
Just relax. One last thing.
What if it was AJ Styles?
What happened?
What if AJ Styles is retired from in-ring, but now he's the GM of NXT?
That's dope.
Is that a good move?
Pretty cool.
I mean, yeah. He's on TV once a week.
It's cool. Yeah, it's cool in the sense you still get to see him. Obviously, he won't wrestle anymore, but
they have that relationship with TNA. They can build stuff on it.
Yeah, I think that'll be really dope. One thing I wanted just to touch on before we wrap this up. I love that we finally got an answer on Tony D'Angelo. Kind of his reasoning to coming back. I mentioned this to channel a couple weeks ago. I think this is. I hope I'm wrong or not pushing or whatever, but I think this is Tony D's kind of last opportunity to do something. He finally dropped like that whole mob boss gimmick. I feel like it was never going to work in the main roster. So I'm excited to see where things go. He kind of states his intentions to go after the Dark State. Hopefully he wins that NXT title down the line. I know Joe Hendry just won it, but Don was kind of eyeing that title. So I'm excited to see what happens with the Don of NXT because I am a fan of his. I think he's dope, and I just wanted to say that one last little nugget.
I think him losing the family and all that should have been done on the main roster. I think it would have hit better. But now that it's all over with, I do agree. I don't think it would have resonated well.
Yeah.
I think if he would have went to AEW as the Don, I'm not AEW, I'm sorry. He went main roster as the Don to Raw, but without Stacks and Lorenzo, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he went through like this phase where like he was getting beat up and stuff, and then he was like, you know what, I need to make a call, and he brought the family to Raw. I thought that would have been a perfect storyline to do it, and then eventually he drops the gimmick, but they did it all on NXT. I don't think they see main roster in him, is what I generally think.
Yeah, that's why I think they dropped the gimmick beforehand, because just to kind of like, bro, what could you do? So we'll see, man. I'm a fan of Tony D'Angelo. I really am. So we'll see how that happens. What happens with that? Is it time to say my plug? All right.
He's cutting us off.
He's cutting us off. All right.
This is a cut off song.
So Taino Wrestling Guru, gotta change the Twitter handle. Boy Dreams King, catch me on there. It was another dope show with the guys. Hope you guys liked it. As always, thanks for having me.
Well, of course, I'm the one. It's so weird of a Twitter name.
It's an old one. It's old. All
right, go my fault there, man.
And of course, I'm the one that makes it say, "Oh damn, I'm Nit Ram," and you can catch me on Twitter at NITRAM_4 SOTR. That's NITRAM_4 SOTR. Where I just put Twitter back on my new phone, so I can start tweeting again.
I will say life was easier when Nit Ram wasn't tweeting, but you know what? Mr. Guy on Twitter is outrageous takes. And you can find me nowhere. You guys do not deserve to have me on social media. I don't even post about wrestling shenanigans to begin with. My Instagram page is Love Letter to the New York Knicks and my son. Other than that, you can find all of us at 4 Sides of the Ring, 4SIDESOTR on Twitter, 4 Sides of the Ring on TikTok, 4 Sides of the Ring on Facebook, 4 Sides of the Ring on MySpace, 4 Sides of the Ring on AIM, 4 Sides of the Ring on MSN, 4 Sides of the Ring on Hotmail, 4 Sides of the Ring anywhere and everywhere.
Only fans.
Go to your local deli right now. Put your hands in the register. Show money right now.
That's right.
And honestly, guys, if you're not enjoying wrestling, you're not watching it right. Shout out to the founder. He'll be with us sometime next week. If not, I'm going to send NetRam to kidnap him and make him record.